1,000-year drought. And this meadow in 2015 should have been 7 feet thick with snow, and it was all gone as of April. So you know this problem. I mean, you've been there. This is the Sierra Club. But where is the water going to come from for our agriculture? Ice and glaciers are melting. For instance, here in Alaska, this huge glacier was gone within 70 years. You can see it. And that water melts off and causes sea level rise. So, for instance, cities like Rio, but also Boston, New York, LA, and on, Singapore, sea level rising is going to mean that people are going to have to move away from the beach areas. Where are they going to go? It takes time for this melting to occur, but there was a great paper by a climate scientist, Jim Henson, who showed that we are already committed for 7 feet. This is 7 feet of flooding, already a done deal. It's just going to take some time to melt as the glaciers in the Arctic and so forth melt. From the 1 degree of warming, so just think of your cup of water with ice in it. And although the warming is already here in the room, it takes time to melt, right?
So what's the time frame?
So that's hard to calculate, but they estimate maybe 2100 for 7 feet of sea level rise. But that's hard to calculate.
But this is based on the
On 1
increase
degree of warming that we've already experienced. So
the increase right now
Already.
is ultimately going to cause this sea level
Right.
rise.
The warming we already have, the 1 degree centigrade, is already committed to 7 feet more of sea level rise. And this, for instance, in Huntington would cause 25% of the land to be flooded, or even the flooding of this much of the Central Valley up by Stockton. Think of it, just picture that already flooded. It's a done deal with the warming we've already experienced. So the hurricanes like Sandy or like Matthew that just hit in Carolina, causing devastating flooding. Around the world, places like Bangladesh or India, we have a huge human toll from the flooding and further sea level rise, with big moral, political, and economic implications. Superstorms out on the plains, firestorms in California and Colorado, and the effects, not just of the warming, but of the extraction process, means that we have disasters like Deepwater Horizon. If you want to go see the movie to bring it home, yeah, I think it would be a frightening thing. But this caused devastation of the Gulf itself. We have bomb trains like in Lynchburg, Virginia, in which oil trains derail, explode. We have here in Southern California, Florida Ranch, because there was a rusty pipe and valve that blew out. And so we have 25% more methane released in California than normal, just from that one episode. Thousands of people had to leave their homes, lots of schools had to be closed. So Pope Francis in 2015 in his encyclical said, the greatest effects of all attacks on the environment are suffered by the poorest. Just like in Syria or like, here in Southern California. So the science is very clear of what's causing global warming, that the increase of temperature is caused by carbon dioxide, which is now about 400 parts per million, and it won't be below that for the rest of your life. This positive feedback and time lag for the melting and so forth, and the effects of the greenhouse gases, water, carbon dioxide, methane. This means that we will have further temperature increase, but the further temperature increase must be kept below 2 degrees of warming, or we could have what we call runaway global warming, and I'll talk about that later, but that's the serious thing. So we have to limit carbon dioxide to under 450, but it will get to 450 probably within 20 years. It's on schedule. So the science says that carbon dioxide released when you burn anything with carbon in it is what's the driver. You know, it really absorbs the heat coming from the sun. It's not directly the smoke, but it's the CO2. And this can be demonstrated. So how many people here really already know or believe that CO2 is the driver of the warming? Raise your hands. Okay, so I think most people know that. If people are skeptics, I could, within 10 minutes, directly demonstrate in environmental bottles here, you know, dry ice, there's this air, it's shining a light that within about 10 minutes, the CO2 jar would be 5 degrees Fahrenheit.